2, 1. VR Workforce Studio. Podcasting the sparks that ignite vocational rehabilitation through the inspiring stories of people with disabilities who have gone to work.
Working in a field that I understand.
As well as the professionals who have helped them.
A job and a career. You got to look at how life-changing this is.
And the businesses who have filled their talent pipelines with workers that happen to have disabilities.
To help expand registered apprenticeship.
These are their stories.
Because there's such a great story to tell about people with disabilities.
Now, here are the hosts of the VR Workforce Studio, Rick Sizemore and Betsy Civilette.
Welcome to a very special edition of the VR Workforce Studio podcast. I'm Rick Sizemore.
And I'm Betsy Civilette. And Rick, did you know today is International Podcast Day?
Of course, Betsy, I've been practicing my international podcast acceptance speech all day.
Perfect. Well, while Rick fine-tunes that, let's celebrate what makes podcasting so powerful, the stories that inspire, inform, and connect.
We've had some great ones this year. Remember when Grace Miller stopped by and talked about the 100 Stories in 100 Days? That campaign is igniting VR success stories nationwide.
Of course. Or when we had the chance to do the live podcast to open CSAVR's conference this spring in Bethesda, and being on stage with Steve Wooderson during his swan song, and featuring, of course, the amazing George Dennehy, as well as Caleb Jeffries from Sentinel Robotics and Dreamy Cookies, yum yum. All great stories. I mean, it was really like the Oscars of VR, packed with networking, learning, and the little red carpet magic.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's not forget being engaged with the NCRTM with Heather Service. The other amazing stories like Out of the Lion's Den with Lauren Worley, as well as Malik Thornton, the band director who started out homeless and saw his dreams come true through VR.
And behind the scenes, we've been pushing the boundaries too. Our podcast has evolved into video and is now available on our YouTube channel at VR Workforce Studio. So even bringing our AI avatar, Sage Wilson, to life on stage. So the future of podcasting, it isn't just audio anymore. It is full-on production, thanks to our executive producer, Rick.
The translation is Betsy makes it sound good and smart, and I just try not to trip over the teleprompter.
No, that's my job. But either way, podcasting lets us do what we love most, and that is to share the stories of real people with disabilities finding success in the workplace and the employers who believe in them.
Yeah. So on International Podcast Day, September 30th, Tuesday, September 30th, here's our challenge to you. Share your favorite episode, hopefully from VR Workforce Studio, with a friend. Post it on your socials. But don't just listen. Join us as we ignite the sparks of vocational rehabilitation.
And because the more voices we bring into this conversation, the stronger it gets.
If anyone does hand me that Global Superstar Award, I promise to keep it under 2 minutes, Betsy.
Oh, yeah, or you'll get hooked off the stage. But today we bring you a powerful story of resilience, recovery, and workforce success.
Evan Robish joins us today on the podcast. He survived a life-threatening brain injury, rebuilt his life through vocational rehabilitation, and is now thriving in a full-time job at George Mason University.
And we're also joined by his counselor, Krista Sizemore, a vocational rehabilitation counselor who supported Evan through his training at Wilson Workforce and Rehabilitation Center, a division of the Virginia Department for Aging and Rehabilitative Services. And this episode is about courage, recovery, and what's possible when determination meets opportunity.
Welcome, Evan.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
We're so delighted you're actually on your lunch break, and we appreciate you fitting us in. You're on the campus of George Mason, right outside where you're employed. Can you share with us what happened in the fall of 2023 and how that changed the direction in your life?
Well, in fall 2023 September, I had a brain injury while I was sleeping right next to a nurse who took me to the hospital and took care of me right away. All I lost from that injury was some memory of when I would drink too much. So, yeah, I went back home and lived with my parents and just quickly sobered up and really just it fixed me. That's how I see it.
Right. Well, you've said that your injury actually fixed you rather than disabled you. Tell us about that outlook and how it shapes the way you live today.
Well, I just went back to being around with my family and just finding fun in true hobbies like going to choir practice and making really good dinners for my family and baking goodies for where I volunteer.
Well, Evan, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced in those early days as you were recovering from this brain injury and moving away from substance use? What
Well,
challenged
just
you?
just probably thinking about how the injury went down and how it happened. And just really being in a new place was interesting to me. I was used to living in Richmond for a while, so just adjusting to a new house. And I still hadn't thought of like a new way to have fun. So it was still on my mind, but that changed quickly.
Well, at some point, you were connected with vocational rehabilitation and the Wilson Workforce Center. How did you come about that?
Was attending a adapt clubhouse in Northern Virginia, which was already like a part time where everyone would meet up and we would do like little job training. I did food service for them, but hey, word spread about WWRC being a wonderful place. I could see how great it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, part of your training at Wilson included Serve Safe certification, but you worked through programs like workplace readiness, food service training, safety courses. What was it like being at WWRC?
Well, it was wonderful food service training. We really got to look at doing it. You know, dishes, serving, cooking, prepping. Um, yeah, it was nice having the important like sit downs and like the true learning, you know, through words and whatnot. It was very hey, really trying to get us fully trained and knowledgeable about the job that we're looking for.
Well, you already had an experience as a chef and line cook before your injury. So, how did this training at WWRC really help you build on that background and prepare you for the workplace again?
Well, hey, just doing some things that I had done back in the day brought back memory of me doing it.
Well, what was it like in the actual training program? What kind of things did you do?
It was nice. They had us make good food and you know, things that were not extremely simple. Hey, it was nice that they had me train deli slicers because that's something I had before George Mason, and I would have to do 1,000 cuts a day. So having some practice of that was very important.
Krista, you worked with Evan directly. What stood out to you as you supported him through this process?
So I'd have to say I worked with Evan for quite a while. I knew him as he came into vocational evaluation and then onto our workplace readiness program, and then transitioning into food service and his SIP. So we spent a lot of time together figuring out what accommodations he needed, ancillary services he needed with OT and communication, behavioral health, and behavior support. And I'll have to say that Evan is one of the most eager clients I've ever seen that was just so grateful to receive the services here at Wilson. He took advantage of every opportunity we offered him and made the most of every service that he was given to reach his goals.
Well, his supervisors noted how positive, flexible, and hardworking he is. So, from your perspective, how did Evan's attitude and strengths help him succeed?
Well, he is the clearest example of the power of positivity and motivation, and his strong faith and determination. He was very driven toward his goals, and knew exactly where he wanted to go, and made every opportunity to reach those goals as fast as he could, because his goal was to go back home, to be independent, and to work.
Yeah. That's great. Hey, we found this video that's been floating around. Evan, you might even recognize the person in this video. Well, you are dancing in the kitchen, working at the stove. This is a video that someone shot of you on the job. Of course, the folks tuned into the podcast are seeing this. Let me ask you, Krista.
Is it the one I sent?
It's the one you sent. Krista, what would you want to say to Evan about his life, especially after seeing that video? Someone so happy on the job. What do you want to say to him about his life, his evolution through VR, and his success?
Evan, I'm most impressed by your drive and your vision. You were very clear from the beginning what your goals were, and what you set forth for your life, vocationally, employment-wise, communication, independent living. You were very clear on those goals. And when I see you in that video dancing and seeing it all come to fruition, it's just so impressive, and it was an honor to work with you, and to have you here at Wilson.
Well, Evan,
Yeah, I'm lucky with my new job. My coworkers play a song and, hey, Evan, can you sing this one for us, please?
well, Evan,
Sing and
today you're
chef.
working full time at George Mason University. What does this job mean to you?
What does it mean to me? Oh, coming back on path in life. I have a true job. Wait, I have more benefits than I could come up with? Wow. I feel like I am truly in an adult position.
Evan, what advice would you give someone who's going through recovery, or maybe wondering if they can get back in the workforce after they've had, a problem in life? What would you say to them?
Oh, hey, find something that you already have some desire to do, and then it's a nice way. I already enjoyed cooking. I had done it for my family, and hey, there's a way you can do it in a more professional manner. If you like mowing your lawn, there's yard work out there. If you like painting, there's a way to go paint and get paid for it. So I think that's a pretty important part of it, is just finding something that you can enjoy doing full time.
Evan Robish, thank you for sharing your remarkable journey with us today, and congratulations on your success at George Mason.
Hey, thank you for letting me succeed and bringing me to that opportunity.
Well, thanks to Krista Sizemore. Thank you for the work you do and the entire VR team to make these stories like this possible.
It's truly an honor.
I'll dance to this song.
Evan's dancing in the kitchen.
Hey, I'm on break right now, but all right, yeah, no, at work I get asked to. Lucky me. How rare is that?
Betsy, one of the most exciting things happening right now in the VR community is the 100 Stories in 100 Days campaign.
Right, Rick. This initiative from CSAVR has been gathering powerful success stories from vocational rehabilitation programs all over the country and amplifying them in a way we have never seen before.
Yeah, and leading the charge on this national effort is Grace Miller. You met her in last month's episode. Mm-hmm. She's an associate with Britt Crampsey Communications. Grace has been working tirelessly to make sure these stories get told and shared.
Well, so let's take a moment to hear directly from Grace with an update on how the campaign is going and the impact that it's already making.
Here we are at day 37 of 100 Stories in 100 Days campaign. The momentum has been incredible. And as someone who I would consider myself pretty new to the VR world, this project has been the best kind of education, hearing directly from not only agencies, but businesses, parents, and VR customers about just how transformative these services are. Some of the stories so far, well, all of the stories so far really, have been unforgettable. We have Anne-Marie in Minnesota, who once felt that every door was closed to her But with VR, she found confidence and opportunity, and today she's leading as a CEO of a nonprofit advancing accessibility. Then we have Roxanne in Washington, and she fought her way back from illness and is now earning a PhD in microbiology. And she has this quote that really stuck with me when I was putting together the story. And she said, "With DVR's help, I've kicked down many doors, and now I intend to hold them open for the next people to follow." And then, of course, we have Malik in Virginia, who your listeners may remember from this very podcast, who went from homelessness and uncertainty to being an incredible band director and a mentor to his students. These stories show how incredible the power of VR is. And the best part is, we're only on day 37, and we have plenty more stories to come. So keep sharing, keep spreading the word. Every story adds momentum.
Well, that was Grace Miller with Britt Crampsey Communications. What a powerful reminder of how storytelling is fueling the change.
Absolutely. And there's still time for everyone to get involved, sharing these stories and amplifying them on social media and making sure this message reaches far and wide.
So a big thank you to Grace for that update, and congratulations to everyone contributing to the 100 Stories in 100 Days campaign.